Hello there, you're on the Heart of Reddit channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Get your popcorn ready and enjoy. Retake entry-level training as punishment. Sure, can I do it forever? I worked at a grocery store for about 5 years doing checkout. The company instituted a program that tracked how fast we scanned groceries. To be a top performer, you had to literally throw the groceries into the cart at a rate that upset most customers. For the chance to win a $20 gift card, we got paid minimum wage. Based on the speed they wanted, I knew I was never going to be a top performer. I enjoyed talking to the customers most, and thus my numbers were low, like bottom 10% low, but my CSAT scores were through the roof. Typical CSAT was maybe 1 report a month for a cashier. I received upwards of 20 per month. Customers looked for me, etc. About 2 months into the program, they put up a wall of shame, I called it, where they drew a line of people doing satisfactory work and those who were not. Every week they would tell me I wasn't cutting it. By the 4th or 5th time being told, I asked where in my contract it stated I could be fired for being below this number. The manager grudgingly said they could not fire anyone under the line, at which point I promptly told him at the ripe age of 17 to never tell me about the line again. He did not like that. Fast forward a week, I am pulled off register to be told I will be training with new hires on how to scan items quickly and efficiently. I assumed this was to embarrass me. Training simply consisted of scanning the same items over and over till we got faster. No customers, no stress. It was amazing. After 3 weeks of training, my numbers actually got slower. The fake imaginary customers didn't mind how slow I went. I was put back on register and it was never mentioned to me again. How my great-grandfather got into the firehouse. So my great-grandfather, the Phil, was the first Latino hired to a fire department in a very large SIA city. He, along with the sole African American, were told their living quarters were in a glorified shed in back of the firehouse. Naturally, both were pissed about it. But what were you going to do? Well, my great-grandfather was a darn smart man and had been trained to cook very well by his mother. So, he hatched a plan. He brought in a camp stove and a fan, put the fan in the window and the camp stove behind it. He proceeded to cook the most amazing smelling meals, while the boys in the big house were struggling to not to burn their hot dogs and hamburgers night after night. The other firefighters would wander by the shed to see what was cooking and see if they could score a plate. His answer was something along the lines of, "Well dang, sorry, our quarters aren't really suited to cooking for more than 2. Shame we can't live in the firehouse where there is a proper kitchen to feed everyone from." Didn't take long before the segregated quarters were back to being a shed. He took his turn cooking like all the guys, and you can bet they looked forward to his meals. Okay, I'll get an invoice for my car. Some background. So I recently bought a car interstate. Now in Australia, each state has its own car registration rules. You can't live in one state and have your car registered in another. The car I bought was in QLD, and I am based in NSW. The seller agreed to ship the car to me unregistered so I wouldn't need to drive it interstate while messing with transferring registrations. So the story starts after I received the car. I checked the service NSW, basically the DMV, website and called the information line to ensure I had all the required documents that had all the right information. Sellers, my details, bill of sale, insurance, etc. After gathering up all these documents, I went to Service NSW to get my new number plates for my car. As I'm sure you all know, these sorts of places are slow, and I had to wait a while to get to the front of the line. When I got there, I handed the person at the counter all of my documents. The person looks at them for a few seconds and says these documents aren't right. Now I had a bill of sale with sales contract terms, which had all the information they needed to change the registration. However, because the transaction took place interstate, I signed a copy, sent them to the original owner via email. He printed them out, signed them, and sent it back via email. The bureaucrat insisted that because this wasn't an original signed copy, it wasn't good enough. They did, however, say that an invoice from the original seller would be okay, and it does not have to be signed. So I went home, fired up Word, made a document that looked like an invoice by copy-pasting information from the bill of sale, went back to Service NSW, and got my registration and number plates. Some people need to learn to use their brains.